Hello there, my good YouTubers. Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions review of an Eon e-cigarette, or EonSmoke e-cigarette. This was sent to me this morning, and obviously, as I say, I'm going to have a series of following videos regarding sort of detailed breakdown of this product. But on first impressions, as I say, it's not too bad. I'm actually quite impressed. Now, this is the complete unit assembled. Obviously, as I say, this is the two parts. Unlike with the older models, you used to get three parts. You used to have the battery, which was virtually exactly the same as this. Only the difference between this battery is that it's got a male fitting on the end, rather than the originals of these type batteries had a female fitting, and the male was on the atomizer itself. So there's a first difference. The second difference in this is it seems that the little switch, because this is one of the suction whatevers, it doesn't actually have any button on the battery at all. It's completely powered, obviously, by when you actually suck through the atomizer. The air sucks up through the atomizer and pulls a little tiny membrane inside the battery, and then that makes the contacts actually turn itself on. Now, they were very problematic on the original models, but in this one it seems a little, well, actually much more stable. You can't, even if you shake it, you tap it, you bang it or whatever, it doesn't actually want to turn itself on. With the older ones, as I say, it was quite easy just to shake it like that and they would turn on. If you had it in your pocket or whatever, it would end up burning the atomizer. The next first obvious thing with this is the cartridge. The cartridge, unlike with the older models, which used to come apart and used to keep the atomizer, and you basically just used to change the wadding contained with the e-liquid. Now, I don't know whether this is a wadding inside there, I don't know how it works, but obviously once this cartridge is depleted, we shall take it apart, and I will be doing another video of the internals of this. And what's very interesting is this is one whole unit. So when this is depleted and you've smoked all the e-liquid out of it, you throw it away with the atomizer. You don't take it apart, and or you don't undo it and then reuse the atomizer with a new cartridge. This whole unit is complete. What's good about that in a pro sense is the fact that by doing that, you have not, the next cartridge you're going to use hasn't got a tampered atomizer, which means that every time you've got a fresh new smoke, which is going to taste clean, going to taste fresh. You're not going to have any tamper from anything else. The problem with the older ones, where you could keep the atomizers and you just change cartridges, was you used to get the flavour of the wadding, because the wadding used to burn or get too hot, and it used to tamper the atomizer to the point where there was the flavour remained in the atomizer. So you put the new cartridge in with the new e-liquid, and you could still taste that old flavour in the atomizer. With this problem is solved. It's just a complete sealed cartridge. You deplete it, throw it away, get a new one, and you've got a new atomizer in there. Just to show you how the actual cartridges come, this is the menthol. I like the menthol. I had to try the menthol first off because of this. I think the menthol is the closest you're going to get to a cigarette smoke. They are very nice, and obviously, particularly, as I say, that's compared to a real menthol cigarette. And they actually taste very close to a menthol cigarette, which is why I like the menthols. They are the closest you're going to get. Now, I have been sent some tobacco flavour, and I'm going to be reviewing that in another video as well. Obviously, as I say, my favourite is the menthols, so I just jumped for the menthols first off. But yes, the flavour of the menthol is menthol. It does taste of menthol. It's not too strong. It's not too heavy. These are 18 milligrams. Actually, opened the pack upside down. But these are 18 milligrams. They are. I'm sorry for the camera. It's obviously the reversed mode. Let me just flick the mirror back. Is that? There we go. Look at that. See. So we can, revert it round so you've got the the writing. You should be able to read that the right way around. And as I say, it's quite nice. I'm actually quite impressed with the graphics and the packaging on these. As I say, they're nice, they're colourful. We've got another flavour in here actually. As I say, ice. There's a mango flavour. We're going to be reviewing that. We also got a president flavour. It's quite a patriotic, American flag flying across there. Again, 18 milligrams. This is the one. There's a frost flavour. As I say, quite like the design on this box. They've got all the ice and everything with the design on there and whatever. That's actually, to say, I quite like the design on that. That's an attractive design. I would buy to try that just for its design. But frost flavour seems interesting. I'm not sure whether it's close to a menthol flavour or not really. But we're going to be also doing a review with this one. And what else have we got? We have the Eon. This is flavoured cartridge. A tobacco flavour. There we go. This is the tobacco one. Again, picture of a sort of, top naked woman on there. Hopefully she's got clothes on further down, but, if we turn the box... Oh dear, what a shame you didn't get to see It's only a barcode, and unfortunately the barcode isn't... But whatever. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. We're going to be reviewing this one. As I say, both the same pictures on both sides. Obviously upside down. It obviously rolls that way around, does it? Yes, it does. Yay, look at that. Yeah, it rolls that way around. So it's a rolling manner. So yeah, we've got that one. But at the moment, we've got the menthol. And the menthol's very nice. I'm thinking that this is good. Now, just to look at the cartridge. Cartridge comes like this. In a packet. Obviously, this one's the menthol, which is the green one. And you get these two little rubber caps. These are the ones that I took off the one that I'm currently using. And they go either side, and they go either end of the cartridge, like so. And obviously they say this keeps the cartridge nice and clean and fresh, ready for you to whip off that end, whip off that end. So you take off the two rubber pieces, take your battery and screw it together. And that's it, and that's how it works. And obviously, as I said, this doesn't have a button, it's a sock. So I guess the rules still apply the same as the old one, but we shall soon see over the things. Now, if you are too heavy with your saliva, there must be a catch in here, and I think there is. This top cap here, there's a cap, and then there's a little cavity in the side here. If you like dribble, sometimes it's inevitable to dribble. Some people think, oh, Gordon Bennett, bum sucking a cigarette, which is the I suppose British term. I don't know whether that's used in America or anywhere else around the world, but obviously if you bum suck the E-Cig cartridge, then the saliva tends to get caught in the little cavity just at the end of the sucking area of the cartridge, and that stops it falling and rolling down out here, and then rolling itself into the little hole that is there in the battery. When saliva gets down there, the contacts are not nickel plated or chrome plated or whatever. They're bare copper, or they were in the old one, and that saliva corrodes the contact in there and pretty much reduces the life of the battery. And the one thing they also don't mention with these is these are replaceable or disposable, exhaustible, throw them in the bin after you've finished with them. They never mention that about the battery. And the one thing you have to note is the same thing goes for the battery, but you get more. You can use, like, let's say 10 cartridges or however many it is to the battery. These batteries accept, in my experience, between 20, 30, sometimes even 40 charges. all depending really on how you look after them and so on and so forth. You can sometimes get a lot more out of them. You know, as I say, they're quite a good length, duration in batteries. Some of the models use a lithium-ion battery. We don't know what this is yet. So obviously once this battery is completely dead, the chances are I'm probably going to be ripping it apart, and we're going to find out whether there's a lithium-ion battery in it or a lithium polymer. As yet we don't know that. So if it's a lithium ion, you get a lot more charges to a lithium ion, and obviously, as I say, it lasts a lot longer. So if you buy a lithium ion type e-cig battery, you're going to get a lot more usage out of it. So it's going to last you longer. If you get a lithium polymer, they don't like charging too much. There's only their limited charges is a lot less than a lithium ion, and they don't deliver as much power, even though they are cheaper and in a sense more efficient in delivering their power to the atomizer. So this is something to bear in mind, but none of the e-cigs across the market that I've seen, apart from the Titan 510, actually lists that whether it's a lithium polymer or a lithium ion. Looking on the packs here, as I say, it doesn't seem to list it. As I say, I've got to have a look on the website to see if they do that. Again, up for the following video, I'm going to do a whole series of videos on the EON e-cig, its flavours, the batteries, the duration of the batteries, how long they last, and whatever. Now the problem is, because this is a different fitting to most of the other ones, any of the other ones I've got, only these batteries will work with the atomizer cartridges, or the cartridge pieces. So with a bit of luck, these batteries are actually incredibly reliable and they will survive through all of the reviews for the flavours. I've got one other battery which I'm going to be doing a review. It's an unboxing review. This is EonSmoke's economy pack here, look. Electronic cigarette. It comes with the charger. It comes with one battery, which is black, and then you've got 2 tobacco flavoured cartridges. Sorry for the middle finger. I wasn't giving you the middle finger. That's why I moved to that one. As I said, it was rather rude of me. I do apologise. That was a mistake. Wasn't deliberately doing that. So yes, what we've got is as I say, we've got the two cartridges here. These are tobacco flavour, and do they have a milligrammage on them? The answer is at the moment no, they didn't. Oh yes, the 80 milligrams right at the top here. There we go. So we can tell from the box we're getting 2 tobacco. There we go. 2 tobacco flavoured cartridges. Again, the same as these. A battery and a USB charger. Now, I don't like USB chargers. Reason being is because my computer is very expensive. And well, any computer is very expensive. You're going to spend £500 plus on a computer. It's expensive. Now, sticking in a charger plug thing into your USB to charge your e-cigarette, to me, I feel it a bit risky. If you've got a USB hub or you've got a USB charger from a mobile phone that you don't use, or a non-mobile phone, then that's perfectly fine. Get yourself plugged into that and not your computer. I don't like the idea of plugging it in, because you've got a limit of 500 milliamps from a USB socket, and you don't know whether these USB chargers have got a cap limiter, current limiter in them to do that. So they worry me. I don't like the USB sort of charging systems. I like to actually have something plugged in, but then that increases the price of your kit, because if you're going to have a charger that plugs into the mains, you've got the plug, you've got the cable to go to it, you've got the actual transformer, the switching mode power supply inside it to actually drop your voltage down. So the price of the e-cigarette is going to go up, because you're getting that feature with it. Obviously this is cheap. It's just takes 5 volts out of your USB, probably sticks it through a little tiny DC to DC regulator and pops it out into the battery. Again, that to me, I don't like it. I don't like those. So I'll be using this charger through a USB wall charger. I won't be plugging this into my computer's USB, or just disconnect the lead from a hub, a USB hub, and just leave the power that goes to, because it's a power, I find a powered USB hub, and just use the power from the adapter into a USB hub, and then do it that way. But make sure that the USB hub's not connected to your computer. And that's the thing. So we're going to be doing another review of the EonSmoke's economy pack here, which comes with a black battery and so on and so forth. 18 milligrams tobacco flavors. Anyway, first impressions. Very nice, good quality, solid, same as they usually always are. Screws together very nicely. Doesn't take a humongous, amount of effort and whatever to stick together. And let's see how it smokes. Now that was just the first puff and the first draw. Seeing I hadn't used the cartridge or the battery or anything for quite a while. So let's get the atomizer a little warmed up, because sometimes I say it's late with that one. That was actually a good throat hit first off. That really wasn't bad at all. So the quality, straight out the box, first impression quality is actually very good there. And what we're going to do is we're going to do, take a few puffs and then taking a throat hit, just so we can get the atomizer warmed up, get the e-liquid flowing, and see what it's like. Now that was a good hit. That was a good level of smoke there, and as you can see, you can, if you really want to get a good throat hit, a good flavour, good hit of flavour, then just doing a bit of like for instance pipe puffing, if you want to call it that, just to get it nicely warmed up, flowed through the atomizer, get a good suck through it, and get some nice smoke. And that wasn't too bad on the smoke. I have had better with like the Smoke-O-Mizer cartridges. Smoke-O-Mizer cartridges do work a lot better, but then again, that's what they're designed for, and they have a lot more liquid in them, because they're like a capsule, a lot longer, and they're a capsule with the liquid on the outside. They flow through a wick into the inside, and those are obviously the refillable things. But again, their atomizers get tampered with the flavors. And that's the problem. The atomizers last a lot longer and you can refill them, but they're tampered with the flavors. This is a good idea of throwing the whole thing away, because it then makes it a budget, system, so that the cartridges are fairly cheap, but every cartridge that you change, you got a nice fresh atomizer with it. You got a nice fresh flavor, and it's coming through top quality. And I have to say that this menthol is coming through top quality at the moment, and I'm quite impressed. That was nice. That was actually very enjoyable. That's good quality, throat hit, good quality feel on the chest, and leaves the beautiful menthol flavors in your mouth. It just, it's it's not like sucking a tree ball mint or anything, because I think that's too strong. This has it's just got that beautiful mild flavor. In fact, it's slightly milder than a real menthol cigarette. And in some cases, smoking the menthol cigarette obviously leaves a very strong menthol flavour, which is actually discomforting, and it's not something that is to me desirable. But this is actually quite desirable. It leaves a lovely smooth menthol texture that you can just sort of you just roll your tongue around for a while and enjoy the flavour. It's actually quite nice. They've got the balance of the flavour right in here. It doesn't overpower the glycol flavour. There is the glycol flavour in there, and I think with every e-cigarette you're going to get that. But with a normal cigarette, there's the tar flavour. You don't get the tar flavour with this at all, and I tell you what, the tar flavour in a cigarette is not necessarily, to me, it's certainly not a desirable flavour to have with a normal cigarette. Neither is the sweet glycol, but the sweet glycol, obviously, as I say, is of course far more healthier and safer than any tobacco tar product there is. Um, so yeah, this is actually very nice smooth flavour. Oh, that was good. That was good. That was the long hit. Now, I did that deliberately. What I was doing was I was testing the battery for the automatic cutoff. And if you notice, that wasn't me actually doing that, but when it flashed that moment ago, that flash was actually the battery's limiter going ding, ding, ding. You're pulling too much, or you're pulling too long. But that long thing, that was right to the limit of the limiter, and you've seen how much smoke came out there. And the flavour and the throat hit was actually very good on that. So the timing on the limiter on the battery on first impression again is actually quite good. As I say, it's quite impressive. Yep, yep, that was a good one. Again, I pulled it to the limiter. Now I've been using this battery all morning since about 10 o'clock. It's now 2:30 in the afternoon here, and this battery's still going. And it was straight out of the bag. So whether it was charged in the whatever, but if it was charged, which most likely was, with lithium batteries, the one note to do is they don't self-discharge. So you can charge a lithium battery and put it on the shelf, and a year later it's going to hold at least 98 to 99% of its charge still in the battery. They have a very low self-discharge, unlike NiCads or any of the other batteries. So they hold their charge quite well. So if this was charged from the factory, let's say 3, maybe 4 months ago, or whatever, obviously the battery has retained its charge well. And as I said, I've used it all morning. This is just this is the same cartridge. I must have taken 20 or 30 puffs, since then with it, and it's quite nice, and the flavour is still consistent. So after 20 or 30 puffs, we've still got a consistent flavour coming out of the atomizer and the cartridge. So that is all a positive note, and its first impressions is actually incredibly good at the moment. And the problem is that because it's actually that nice, you want to keep puffing on it. Probably not always the best thing, especially on an 18 milligram, because there's a lot of nicotine in there, and you don't necessarily want to be, puffing too much, because it's not a sweet where you can just constantly suck on sweets and it have no adverse effect at the end, apart from you being probably hyper from the sugar and so on and so forth. With this, obviously, as I say, it has nicotine in it. Now, if you do want to puff, I've said this in one of my previous videos, if you do want to continuously puff and you like the flavours and you want to keep going, reduce the milligrams. Go down to something like an 8 milligram. And then you can just puff along, quite happily, or even maybe, 10, 11, 12, something like that. A lower milligram, percentage or ratio, to the nicotine, a lot better, because then you're just getting a tremendously large amount of flavours, and you're getting a lot less nicotine as you're taking it into the system. Because with the e-cig, when you actually take that in, you're getting quite a large amount of the shot of the nicotine into your lungs, and some of it does get blown out, don't get me wrong, because your lungs don't fully absorb everything that you particularly breathe in. Pardon me. So it's as I say, but first impressions, it's actually very nice. So smooth, beautiful, such a smooth roll. They've got the balance right on that. The only downfall is the taste of that glycol, but you're not going to get rid of that. That exists in every single e-cigarette out there, and it's a small price to pay for the further pleasures that you get. Very much like the small price you pay for that tarry ashtray taste you get with normal cigarettes. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it makes you want to. Whatever. Now I'm going to take a little sip of coffee. Coffee and menthol e-cigarette. Yes, it's good. Yeah, yeah, I know, I know. It was bought to me as a present. It's funny. It's a good cigarette. Mm. Mm. Incredibly consistent throughout it. It's very consistent, very consistent. Works very well. Again, this is the EonSmoke E-Cigarette. As I say, it's very good. I like the idea of just throwing away the whole sealed cartridge unit. Again, I'm going to be doing a further review, prices in comparison to this, and budgeting the whatever's how much it basically costs you just for this, having the capability of doing this. But having the capability of doing this is great because you don't get you're not working on a tampered atomizer. It's a fresh atomizer every time, and it's a fresh, clean smoke, and it's a quality smoke every time, which I like. Again, battery reviews to follow, and the all flavours, which are going to come soon. But for now, this is the first impression review, and it's turned into a rather long one, of course, but there's a lot to cover. Just on first impressions, so I hope I'm getting enough information out there for you people to actually take a good idea of what on earth we're looking at with this. And yes, it's first impressions very positive, very good. um, I'm quite pleased with it. I'm enjoying it as well, actually, to say. It's good stuff. Anyway, thanks a lot, my good YouTubers, and I shall see you in the next reviews that are going to be coming up. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon.